Good morning. We're late, sorry. Somebody's right, turning off and on and get everything in the building. First the computer, no go. Then the router, no go. Then the cables, check. Changed out the cable, check. The main router downstairs, restart. And here we go. My apologies, my apologies. When's it been since I last restarted the main router downstairs? I don't know, that was it, sorry. And two, the pool today, because it's a stream day, I didn't do my full kilometer at the pool. I cut it at 600 meters so that I would be in good time for this. You had us worried. Sorry guys, sorry guys. As you can see, you know where we are, third floor. Okay, sizing, and I did have everything set up, but I still have to cook the size. So we're going to have to do the cooking part first, and then look at this, emails from people. I'm getting email notifications. Am I still alive? Yeah, I'm alive. I'm sorry. One thing, how's the audio level here? Hot or light or whatever? Because I'm using the new Rode system. I'm wireless to the computer here. So let me know if it's too hot. It's right here. So it's a little transmitter unit with a thing to do the wind. And let me know if it's too hot or too whatever. And I should be able to walk around and the audio should not change. I should be able to go anywhere. When we go through to the next room, it shouldn't make any difference because I'm now at last wireless. And we have another unit somewhere here. Next time we have a guest, we have another wireless unit for the guest, and hopefully we can now get real audio. We'll see. All right, my apologies for the late start. We're going to have to cook up some stuff. I've got to get the gas turned on. As usual, I'll swim the main camera around for a minute. Oh, and I will be able to talk while I'm over there. Let's see. The kitchen corner. I don't know if we've ever mentioned this before, but the water we use, this is an old building. And we really don't trust the pipes. And Tokyo is good. The water is fantastic. It's the world's best water supply, clearly, or whatever, among the world's best. But we don't trust the old pipes, iron, lead, whatever. So all the water we use, anything that's going to touch the print works. Anything for the sizing, anything for paper making, anything for moistening paper for printing, it all comes through one of these, filter things. It's not going to kill viruses, whatever, but it's going to take out, we hope, rust spots, etc., etc. Okay, we have the alum mix to go in. Already in the water from last night was the Nikawa mix, the glue mix, and now the alum has to go in. Just take a second here, and then we have to let it sit and seep for a minute. The glue is already melted. Same soup every time. Where do you want my diet? Good morning. So, sorry about the late start this morning. And actually, now that I think about it, it's already 8:11. I have a big stack of paper to go. This is for Hokusai reprinting. We'll talk about this in a minute. You saw me making some Hokusai prints, was it 2 weeks ago? Well, you know the story. Those who know the story know the story. The prints I made 2 weeks ago cannot be shipped. And we're making some reprints of those. Day-chan's coming today to start work on that. And the paper is here. So show and tell, there almost certainly will not be a show and tell today. I've got some stuff prepared, but I can't, there's no way I'm going to be able to make it to the end here today. And somebody's asking what happened to the prince. 2 guesses. 2 guesses. 3 guesses. You won't need 3 guesses. What happened to the prince? Yeah, a little man got in the way. So, a little man got in the way. Those of you who know the story can tell the other people, and we can't send him. The BM has asked us, of course, specifically not to do that sort of thing. And those prints I made last week, is whatever, 60 plus prints, are no-go. So, okay, the Nikawa here, the glue part, we always peak it at about 50 or 60 degrees. We don't let it go past that. Again, I'm not 100% sure of the science here, you know, at the molecular level, but it seems to me that the glue will break down. The proteins or whatever, the collagens, is that the thing, will break down. But to melt, to dissolve the alum, we need a hotter water. So I've split the water into 2 groups. There's 1.5 liters with the glue, and 0.5 liters here, which I'm going to run to boiling point. I ran it just to where it started to bubble. The alum's going to go in there and dissolve. And then I'm going to throw it in here. And I've got a huge question mark. And if there are people out there who could understand more about the chemistry here, what I would like to know is, by dissolving the glue first in one batch of water, and dissolving the alum separately in another batch of water, and then mixing them together, is that going to give me some chemically different mix from if I had done it all together? Because we are understanding and we're told that part of the strength of the paper here, this mix that goes into the paper, is not just the glue. It's some kind of, not reaction, what's the word? The mix of glue and alum together provides the strength. But by dissolving them separately, am I harming that? Oh, Suga-san, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. そう、向こうに置いといたんですよ。そう。I'll get her to come and say hello in a minute. Okay, a few minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay, here we go, here we go. Someone's saying either way the chemical reactions, I really don't know. I don't know. Okay, the outside camera here is not really doing much of a job here today, is it? What should we do with this camera? Can we get a view there? So somebody's saying below boiling when we mix them back together, non-covalent. I don't know this terminology. I'm sorry. I don't have any chemistry background whatsoever. I'm thinking it's okay. So if the general consensus is okay, then fine. We're looking at glue, collagens, protein. I don't know the stuff that we're using. I don't have any idea what the chemical composition of it would be. It's simply Nikawa glue. It's animal-based, hides and or bones melted and mixed together, whatever. It comes to us in this granular form. So there must be a million different things in there, actually, chemical things in there. So. Okay, the table here has been heating since before I went to the pool this morning, so the table is now nice and warm. I'll need a brush. It's hanging up in the shower stall. There we go. The brush today is a single, not a double. Okay, have we had 4 minutes, 5 minutes? How long to let it sit? That's another thing chemically, I have no idea. We've mixed those things together. We've dissolved that alum and that glue. How long should they sit? If you're a chef, your soup is going to sit for quite a long time, hours. Am I okay in doing this after 5 minutes? We just don't know the chemistry. Suki-san, good morning. Come and say hello. Here we are. This camera here. Here we go. Good. Suki-san, Top Gun printer here. Hi. What you working on? 今日何を？
今日は菊の香りの紙の準備とテスト。
でも紙の準備というビデオ。
そうそれだし、あとまだね青山さんに
ケントとかそう。
直してもらってから。
でも絶対私に伝えてください。
はい。
だからビデオ撮りたいよ。
そうですね。まだ大丈夫です。
オッケー。いやでも紙の示しも。
そこから。
そう。
はい。
でストリーム終わってから大丈夫。
縦目逆の紙で大丈夫ですよね。逆目逆。とりあえずやってみようかあれで。
今何？最初にテストですか？本釣り？
本釣りはまだもう一回テストやって剣と合わせます。
オッケー。だけど本当にビデオゼロから最後までのビデオ欲しいんです。
はい、オッケー。
Sorry to interrupt, excuse me. She's going to do Kiku no Kaori, the scent of chrysanthemums, the large one. And I've got to catch every second of that on video. Every second of it. でも今は何？北斎の。
そう、あと今日は北斎と、あとあれの大黒と恵比寿、あれをチェックしてあと、できれば。
Okay. So she's got 3 things cooking all at once. She's just finishing up the big Ebison Daikoku print, the square one. And she's working on a batch of the Hokusai prints number 3, not the number 2 problem print. And then she's doing preparation for the scent of chrysanthemums. She will be printing it, and we're going to video every second of it. So that will be the next video. Sorry about the noise. She's washing one of her brushes. The paper has been warming up. It's been on the hot table under the sheet. Now we got a ton of paper today as well. This is paper for the next Hokusai print. For Hokusai number 3, the third batch, the batch that's going to be shipped on the 21st of May. And again, we're running right up to deadlines. Today's the 18th. This paper we're sizing here today is going to be for the prints that we ship on the 21st. We're just running right up to the deadline. Is the mic okay? Let me know, eh? I think it should be all right. It's gear, good gear, so. Okay, we have 20 sheets cut in half to make 40. So I've got 40. Yeah, what I should do then, it's already 8:30. Let me do this half and half. Let me do it half on stream and then I'll just do the next batch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can never get through this now before 9:30. Let's do that. Let's take 20 sheets first. So 20 sheets both sides. You'll see me cover 40. We'll have time to go and hang it up. I doubt there'll be a show and tell, but anyway, at least we can see the whole process. And then after we're done, I'll come back and do the second half. What I should do is take the second mic, turn it on, and go and put it in the other room in one corner. We can hear Suga-san and Nishikawa-san working. Talking about the dissolving still. Dissolving separately, I should be on the safe side. It's a thin solution that shouldn't matter. Thank you. Any advice? I mean, it's a bit late for you to ask now, 10 years after starting to do it that way, but whatever. Don't start digging any holes, Dave. Okay. Relax. I just got to get some work done. So let's roll. Okay, fluff. Knock off. Knock more off. Knock it back. Knock a bit more off. The paper we're doing here is extremely thin paper. And if I put too much in here, it'll end up rock hard for the printers. So I can't just dip the brush and bang. I've got to knock off a fair amount of that liquid. Okay, now that we're up and running here, what's been going on? No. John is back in America there. He's left Japan, so John, the moderator, too, who was visiting the stream here, he's back in the US now. He'll be with us again on Saturday. I mean, with us from his home in Tennessee. And then I got a note yesterday. Do you remember Mafalda-san, the lady who does ink printing? Remember she had a book she had just published? She visited us a few months ago. She's back in town, and she dropped me an email last night to let me know she's back in town. So maybe she'll be here Saturday. I have to get back to my email box there and try and figure. So if she's free Saturday, I might ask Mafalda-san to drop by. She doesn't have a new book or anything, but she'll have some new, maybe she's got some new painting she can show us, and she can sit. Because my work Saturday is probably going to be still more tracing, probably not so interesting. So maybe Mafalda-san can drop by on Saturday. We'll see. No, I got a haircut. I was in Ome on Tuesday. I have actually now my once a year or whatever haircut. And the haircut lady, when I had visited her the last time, when is that, 3 months ago? I don't remember. I had asked her to keep an eye out in the neighborhood. We're talking about Ome. This is not here in Asakusa. I had asked her to keep an eye out in the neighborhood if she knew of anybody who needed work. Because in Ome, we have 2 people working there these days, and they are getting overrun sometimes at peak times. They have kids and stuff happens and whatever. So we need another person in Ome, but not a full-time person. So I had asked my haircut lady to chat with her friends. She knows everybody in the neighborhood, of course. They all go through her room. So she did so, long story short, and that lady came over on Tuesday when I was in Ome. So if I said interviewed, that would be the wrong word, but we chatted with this lady who lives nearby. And it looks like maybe she's going to give it a go. So the Ome staff may be increasing by 1 over the next couple of weeks if she comes on board. She'll be an assistant first, and if she turns out to be a good smart one, she'll take on more work. Someone's asking about the Sumo. The Sumo. I had a fabulous time, an absolute fantastic time. I've never been to it. I've seen it like everybody. I've seen it on TV. Bang, 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 all over. Okay, whatever. And you wait half an hour and then bang, 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 all over. My impression of it has been that kind of a thing. It didn't work like that. We were there on Tuesday. We arrived just after we missed the first bout in the judo division. And there must have been, 12 of those? And then after the break, there was the 20 bouts in the main division. And it all went by too quickly. It went by way, way, way too quickly. So my impression of that thing is being devastatingly slow, wait for hours, and then something happens that you don't even notice. That was completely wrong. And then as far as the bout itself being so quick you don't even notice, there were a couple like that. They were just like, that was it. But more than half of them, easily more than half of them, were great fun. And this is a guy who knows nothing about this, sitting between John on one side, who sort of knows a bit more than me, but doesn't know a whole lot about it, and a guy from Ireland on the other side of me, who also knows a little bit about it, more than we did. He knows some of the names of the way that people get taken down and stuff like that. And we had a great time. Honestly, a great time. If I said we were on our feet cheering for some of this, that would be an exaggeration, but we were. Some of those things were just whatever. Oh, no, we're with this thing, and it was really, really, really good fun. I got to reckon, if you're in Japan, and there's a tournament going on while you're here, do this. Absolutely do this. Am I going to run out and buy a season ticket and start throwing Zabutons and all that kind of stuff? No, I don't think so. But am I going to go now once in a while? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Because it was really good fun. Maybe I got lucky. There were, in the main division that we saw, the 20 bouts, 2 of them went to replays. Not replay, I know. Yeah, replay, when they do it again. I mean, there's no video cameras here watching. There was twice when the refs came up. Well, actually, more than that. There were 3 or 4 times when the refs came up as a group to have their consultation, blah, 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 blah. And then they said, you're the winner, or you're the winner. But twice, the refs came up and then went to sit down and said, do it again. So twice in that one tournament. Not in that one tournament, twice in that one session. We saw it all. We saw quick bouts, slow bouts, guys on the edge coming back to life, back to the edge coming back to life. We saw people in the front row get creamed. I mean, really creamed. I was like, why didn't they call an ambulance? These guys come out, they go smack, and there's a little old lady there, and we think, oh my God, call the ambulance. They stand up, she stands up and bows, and everybody's okay, whatever. So John's not here today, but John, if you see the replay, thank you very much for pushing me to do that. John picked up the tickets, called me over there, and made me do this, and it was really, really, really good fun. Someone says hit by a it's good luck. It's good luck if you survive, maybe. I don't know. One thing that did surprise me about it, and I knew about this from seeing glimpses of this thing on TV, is that when they get to the upper grade people, you know, the last, whatever, 15 bouts or so, as the wrestlers are getting ready, they're throwing the salt and doing the face-off and stuff like this. As the wrestlers are getting ready, there's a parade of advertising banners. 5 or 6 guys come up on the ring and walk around with advertising banners. Such and such insurance company, such and such construction company, whatever. And this, of course, I guess this is where the money comes from to pay these guys, whatever. But I was kind of, all this talk that these guys have about sacred soil and no women can get in the ring and this is actually a religious ceremony and blah, blah, blah. And then guys come around with advertising banners. It sort of doesn't click to me, you know. So I guess whatever, they got to pay for it somehow. Although the seats also were pretty rich. We weren't down on the floor. John didn't buy tickets down on the floor because the floor level there is you sit on cushions. It's Japanese style, and you can eat food and fool around, and they're all in little groups. The upstairs part on the balcony, which slopes down over the whole arena, these are all seats. It's theater type seating. So John felt more comfortable sitting in seats. And they were, I forget, 9,000 yen each or something. We were in the second row. Really, really nice view. Beautiful view. 9,000 yen each. And it's a ticket for the day. You can come in if you like I think it starts at 8:30 in the morning or something with the lower groups. And then it finishes at 6 o'clock exactly in the late afternoon. And so your ticket is good for the day. And I believe you can go out and come back in once. You have one exit to get lunch, I suppose. Whatever. Another fun part of it for us, you know, John said he tried to get a seat in the first row of the balcony, was only able to get a seat in the second row. And it turned out when we got there that the seats in front of us were a reserved seating. Not reserved like for today's bout, but always reserved. They were sports photographers' seats. And we were first, there was nobody there, so we were thinking, hey, this is cool. We can see clearly right across. And then, of course, photographers started to come in and sit down. And there's this one, it's got to tell you the story. There's this one guy, older than me, total white haired, with a big camera and a stand. He came in and we thought, oh, Jesus, this old guy, what are we doing? Nothing. And he got in there and a little bit blocked my view. But okay, I could see around him, whatever. But by seeing around him also, I can see the back of his camera, you know, the LED on the camera and stuff like this. Whatever, he got to work. And it turned out this guy was so good at this. John's a professional photographer. He'll tell you about this later when he comes back in this. We didn't talk to the guy at all. He was, we saw his computer because I know his password login for his Yomiuri newspaper. He looked like he was doing nothing, and he looked like he was sort of missing everything. But after some of these bouts up in the high division there, this was a fast shutter. It wasn't video. It was click, 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 click to take these pictures. Then after the bout's finished, he comes back and he looks on his screen, and he caught, whatever, 3 or 4 or 5 times, he caught the perfect shot. The guy who was going out first and the hand comes down, and this guy caught that shot. And he whips out his laptop, uploads it, bang, and there it is, probably in the newspaper's office seconds after it happened. And this guy caught stuff that we couldn't see. John was saying, like, who went down first? What happened? What happened? And there's the photograph. And this guy, he really, really, really knew his stuff. And you can ask John later when he comes back, like, he's like, I thought this was just some old dude. No, this guy is good at this. I mean, he's been there before, he's done it before, he knows what to look for. And we also learned a lesson from that photographer guy too. When we first sat down, we were over on what's called the east side. When you see sumo on TV, you're looking at it from the front, showmen, and the 2 guys grapple, and the TV shows like this. We were over on the east side, which if you were at a football game means we're behind the goalposts. So we were looking down the field from one of the goalposts. And when we first sat down, both John and I thought, okay, whatever, well, we'll see what we can see. Because when the 2 guys grappled, all we can see is the backside of one guy's bum, and away they go. So we were thinking we might not see much. Not so. They hit with a bang, and then, of course, around and around and around they go. And this guy showed us this was a top seat we had for seeing this. We didn't get to see the tachi-ai. We didn't see the actual moment of the face-off, but it didn't matter. So John had thought maybe they were not actually going to turn out to be such good seats. He was maybe apologetic for it. No way. We got top, perfect view of most of the things that happened that afternoon. Anyway, sort of go on and on and on about it, but whatever. It's a new experience for me, and I can now, having done it myself, I can tell you, if you're in Japan, if you're in Tokyo at least, and one of these is going on while you're here, it was good fun. I'm not a sports guy. I've never been to a wrestling match in my life. The idea that I would go to WW, whatever it is or whatever, just not going to happen, Next up, Bunraku in Osaka. I'm game. I've only been in Japan 40 years. Time to do these things, I guess. Time to do these things. Lose your virginity the day before you die. Whatever. Why didn't they tell me? The other thing about that sumo, people are there talking about watching sumo on TV and stuff like this, And I really wonder, I mean, if you see the highlights on the TV news, whatever, you're going to see the throwdown or something, but you're not going to get any feeling of the mood. As I said before, I had expected it to be boring, exciting, boring, exciting, boring, exciting. It wasn't like that, not in the slightest. Between one bout finishing and the next one, as I said, actually it was too quick, I was thinking, after we were halfway through the afternoon. And we were sat right there in those seats from 2 o'clock to 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you had told me I'd sit there and watch a performance for 4 hours straight, 4 hours, and not feel like, oh my God, this is dragging on. And it didn't. It absolutely didn't. So seeing a TV, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe part of it is because it was all new to me and I'm geeking out at everything. Maybe once you become used to it, it doesn't seem so interesting, or you're seeing more detail. You know, I really don't know. There wasn't any downtime. There was not 1 second, not 1 minute of downtime the whole afternoon. Okay, I'm not going to try and flip the board here. We don't need to do that. I'm really tight for space on the desk. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put plastic down on the board there. And I'm going to do a hand flip. I'm going to pick this stack up. And there's only whatever, what did I say, 20 sheets or something? It's a light, small stack. I can flip it by hand. If it was hundreds of sheets, there's no way I could do this. I need to sandwich it carefully, flip it over, make sure they don't bend. But because of the tight space here today, I can just pick it up like this. This is wet stuff, super dangerous, easy to bend it, but I think I'm okay. Bang. And creasing it is the danger, of course, creasing it. And someone's saying, was there beer involved? Actually, for John and I, we didn't, but yes, there was beer. There was more beer in that room than you'd see in a baseball game. Well, as much as you would see in a baseball game. There weren't girls coming down the aisles with tanks pouring it into our laps. That doesn't happen there. You get up from your seat, go into the concourse, grab a beer. The seats we sat in, when we first sat down, I'm like, I'm back in school, because they had that little armrest that folds in from the front and sits in front of you for a right-handed person. And it's got a round hole in it. It's not for an inkwell, it's for your beer. So that would help the 4 hours pass, but we didn't actually. Is the concession food overpriced? John and I didn't buy anything. We just, I went out to buy a juice. There's vending machines in the concourse. I just bought a bottle of juice for a normal price. I don't know how much the beer is. I didn't ask. It might be overpriced, whatever. It's stadium goods, concession food. There are signs you cannot bring your own food and drink, obviously, the same as there would be, I presume, in any sporting arena. The other funny thing too another funny thing about that too is from where we sat on the east side, we were looking at the showman. The main was over on our right, and the Muko, the far side, was on our left. And the NHK cameras, I guess, or the cameras from whatever company, they are over at the right-hand side, the front side, because you see the front view. And above them is the Emperor's box, where I guess dignitaries and the Emperor come, whatever. And the camera is there, a giant NHK-type TV camera, and with a stand and stools, and there's the camera operator behind it. And then that camera operator sat there for 4 hours without moving, and everything was set up. And they didn't have to move the camera. The main camera just sits there. And it's a girl. The camera operator is this young lady with long hair. I said, yeah, that's right. You know, you don't allow women to go and stand in the ring and do anything, but you don't mind if the camera lady is the camera lady. So I don't know what the contradictions over there. It's Do the fighters make a lot of loud noises when they're fighting? I know, I don't know, not that I think about it. There's slapping and stuff, and at the beginning, the bang when they hit together, the bang is considerable because they really power together. Before they start, there's a bunch of slapping and the stuff. More powerful than you and stuff like that. And some of the guys, again, I'm not an experienced connoisseur here, but some of the guys seemed perhaps not so self-confident, and some of the guys looked like braggadocio, trying to show too much self-confidence. And at the beginning, John and I were sort of, I think that guy's going down, he looks too weak, but then we gave up because it just was sort of random. The guy that you thought was big and strong as opposed to a guy that was sort of like, maybe I shouldn't be here, whatever. And it turned out the guy that shouldn't be here flipped him over, so from our beginner's point of view, there was no way we could now I'm in trouble. Have I done this one? I think so. Can't quite tell. Yeah, it's done. Once you wait too long and it soaks in, then it's not so easy to see if you've actually done it. And there were a couple of guys that came up during the day. It wasn't just all random guys. There was a couple of times when a guy came up to do his bout and the audience went nuts. There were 2 or 3 guys we saw during the day who were clearly crowd favorites. I don't remember the names. There's one guy with a really short name, Enho, E-N-H-O, and he was small, like not small like me, but compared to the hulks, Enho, he's got it. And the crowd went nuts when this guy came up. And you could see why. He was so much smaller than the other guys. And both John and the guy from Ireland knew about this, and they're telling me what's going on, that this guy is known for his agility. And I said, agility? You mean running away? And no. And they said, no, just shut up and watch. And yeah, the guy scampered around, but not like in a sense of you felt that he was running away from the opponent, And he put up a fight. This was one of the longer bouts of the day. He went down. The guy just powered him out or powered him over, I don't remember. But he went down, but it was one of the longer and more interesting bouts of the day. My weight this morning at the pool, I was 62.5. I weigh at the pool every day. Today was 62.5. Can you imagine me in that ring? The guy would just grab me and put me outside. If I were standing in there. $62.5, like those guys weigh 4 of me or something. I don't know. I wouldn't want to look like them. I know, pretty gross, pretty grotesque, some of them. But there were guys who looked, what can I say? I mean, they're all big, heavy guys, but there were guys who looked just big and heavy and powerful, and there were guys who looked grotesque, just with cascades of fat all over them. So it seemed to be sort of different guys. And the guy there from, what's his name? There were a couple of foreigners, a bunch of people from Mongolia, and one guy from Bulgaria, was it? And one guy from Georgia. And my 2 assistants, John and the guy from Ireland, were telling me he's at the end of his career, some foreigner. I forget the name, I'm sorry. That's all the Japanese sumo names start to sound familiar. But the guy from Georgia, he was there, and the consensus was he's on his way down, that he was a powerful guy, but he's now injured too many times and whatever. And he did. He went down straight away. And people are thinking, oh, okay, come on, time to retire and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know. The same thing came for the day's only yokozuna, the last bout of the day of the main thing, just about 2 minutes before 6 o'clock, the last bout of the day. The big, powerful man who is the only yokozuna at the moment. And again, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry. Teru no Fuji, does that sound right? Teru Fuji? Teru no Fuji? Asano Fuji, everything's Fuji, I can't remember. Teru no Fuji. And he won, and my two assistants told me he won yesterday, threw the guy straight out, and he won today, sort of, but he didn't look good. And after he won, he limped down the little step, and he was bound up his arms, and he was bound up with his knees, and he couldn't walk straight as he finished his bout. So I don't know, if I were a betting man, I don't think I'd be betting on him much. And I think maybe he too, he's a guy who has his better days are maybe behind him, and now injuries and age, whatever, are putting him out. So, and the knees, you know, we saw so many guys with bandaged knees. There were a few bandaged shoulders and elbows, but knees, there were so many knees. And I get it, whatever. It's like a baseball catcher. You spend half your life down on those knees. Some saying this is his better days. He came back from an injury. I don't know the background. I'm sorry. How are we doing for time? We're coming up to our favorite time. It looks like we're going to be okay with this. I'm going to get through this. We've got about maybe 8 or 9 left. We'll transfer the stack. We'll hang them up. Oh, someone's counting 9 more sheets to go. Two sheets left. We're done. So who knows? Maybe we did get to a show and tell. No idea. Let's see. We'll see. We've also got the two girls printing there, two ladies printing. You know, we could maybe drop in and see them too. It's another option we could do this morning. Suga-san's there and Ishikawa-san's there. So that might be another option, you know, after hanging up this paper. We can drop in and watch them for a couple of minutes. Because it's a chance with both of them being here today. There's actually 3 printers coming today. Ayumi-san is also coming. Yuki-san, the new one, is off. Dei-chan, actually, there will be 4 today. There will be 4, because Dei-chan's coming back this afternoon. So there's 2 there now, Ishikawa-san and Suga-san. Then Ayumi-san's coming later, and Dei-chan is coming later as well. We'll have 4 people working up here today. Okay, now what should I do? That's done, but as I said, after the stream I'm going to do another batch, so I don't want to wash the brush now. But I can't leave the brush in the glue or it'll get totally gummed up. The glue can sit covered, but also if I put the brush in the hot water here now, it's going to absorb too much water. So what I'm going to do, this may seem like heresy, but I'm going to take the brush right now and just leave it here on top. It is going to dry to some extent while I'm hanging the paper. The glue will get a bit harder, but then when I'm ready to start again, I'll put it in the hot water and warm it up. So I wouldn't want to leave the brush overnight like this, but I'll leave it for a few minutes. I don't want to put it inside the... Someone's saying plastic. That actually is not a bad idea. I haven't hung up my laundry yet with pool gear. I came back from the pool late. So yeah, that is a good idea. Let's just, for a few minutes, it is going to go hard, but at least it's not going to solidify rock hard. You didn't see this, okay? That's not the way a professional would treat his tools, but I've got to get both sides of this going. Okay, time for the big move next door. So we're going to lose the small camera. That's history. We're going to, the audio can stay with me. Look at that, that will stay. And we're going to temporarily lose the large camera. Here it goes. Don't panic. I will move that camera through first, back in a moment. The veterans here can explain to newbies what's going to happen for the next few minutes. Main camera going through to the next room. Back in a sec. Oh, it's still hanging up. Soka. Nanda nanda. The paper from yesterday's session is still hanging up. All right, no problem. We'll take that down first. Okay, the paper actually from the last session, from last night, is still hanging up there. So as you'll see when we get through there, we will have to take that paper down as well. Let me get my computer power. One sec. Okay, now we can make our move. Let's go. Nothing left connected but the Ethernet. Away we go. So we've got audio all the way through here. We used to drop our audio when moving across, but now that's not a factor. So let's go. Put it here. Okay, let's get the main camera plugged back in. There we go. Okay. As you can see, next window. So after we finish doing our hanging here, we'll go through to the next window. So I can't see the chat, so if you give me 1 second, chat settings, chat appearance, top size. Okay, you can yell all you like now, and I might have a chance to see it. Okay, let's go. So first step, before I bring the paper over, this paper has to come down. Someone's asking about algebra. I don't understand the reference, I'm sorry. Bull's algebra. The only algebra knowledge I have is whatever might be left over from high school. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're referring to. If there's somebody on the net called Bull doing algebra, it's not me. There we go. This is the paper from yesterday. This is the end result, the part that you don't see normally. It comes down, and here we are. We've hung up a batch of wet paper, and here it is. It dried out nice and beautifully and smoothly, as I've mentioned before. As long as we dry it slowly, as long as we don't let it dry too quickly. If I left the doors and windows open, it would dry bang, and it would be just shiwa. I don't know what's the word. Wavy. It would be really wavy. It dries almost flat. This will now go into our drying boards, into our waiting boards to get even flatter. And it goes from here, of course, it goes to the printer for each job. Ohayou gozaimasu, guys. Mata kimasu. Okay, there is still more up there, but it's okay. We've got room now. The group that I took down, this will replace it up there. So just that group also is ready to go. I'll take it down later. Let's just get moving with our work here. Three clips. For those of you who've never seen it before, I don't have three hands, so we use this to get them all together. You can hear the sounds from the next room to show. The Baron rubbing, the pigment bowl clinks. I myself really enjoy the soundscape of the printing room, you know. We've got such a thing over on my woodblock.com website. I've got a couple of these places where I just put the microphone up, window open, no talking, nothing to do with ASMR stuff, just simply a quiet, peaceful soundscape of the work environment. The brushing. Paste going on, the other printer. The quiet part where the paper went down, then the Baron on the back of the moist paper. You can tell the difference in the moisture on the paper from the sound of the Baron as it moves across, how sticky it is. You can be sitting there working yourself, and the person behind you, you're not looking at them, you're not watching them, but you can feel, geez, you know, her paper's a bit wet, I think, because you can tell from the sound of this stuff. You know. Okay, after I'm done here today with the stream, I'll be turning on a humidifier. We're going to keep the doors closed. The door I came to will be closed. The door to the workroom is going to end up being closed after this session is over. Then the room will be humidified. I'll put the steamer on, and this paper will dry really, really quite slowly. Okay, we've got some time left, but let's go. We've got 2 people working here, so let's try this. I've got a long cable here. I'll turn off this thing. Just leave the screen. I'll leave the computer here, so I won't be able to ride chat here. I'm just going to take the camera with me, walk next door, and we'll look at some printing for a few minutes. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. It's up to you. Take care of yourselves. And for the next 10 minutes or so, let's go and visit a couple of printers. I think I've got enough cable to get through there. And audio is going to travel with me, so I think we can do this. Sorry about the earthquake here. Let's go. Ohayou gozaimasu. ちょっといいですか? Stream の最後の This is Suga-san. Good morning, Suga-san. Hello. What's up now? 今何やってますか?
NG と
最後のチェックですか?
分けてます。
ちょっと作品見ていいですか? カメラにちょっと向いて。なんでもいい。そんなに厳しい細かく。画面、もうちょっと上で。Here's the job she's doing. ちょっと持っててください。Zoom in. はい。Okay. This is the third print でしょ? これは3番ですね。そう。難しい点ありました?
難しい点はやっぱりちょっと細い線を
She's saying the delicate lines, keep going.
細かくこうたまると。
So okay. What she's saying is the delicate lines here, there's so many lines side by side by side. They're crisscross, 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 and they're easy to, たまりやすいでしょ? It's easy to get blots in that area.
あとつげだからつげの板で乾かないようにもう早くする。とにかく早く。
She says the wood block is boxwood, and because of that, it dries extremely easily, extremely quickly. So if she takes a break for literally, like if there's a phone call or something, hello, no, I'm sorry, I'm busy, goodbye, that's going to disrupt the rhythm. でしょ? もう10秒、20秒だけで。
だから頑張ってトイレもやった。
We don't need to explain that. Now, she was saying, once she starts the key block, that's it. No toilet breaks, nothing. You just go straight through it. Ishikawa-san's laughing too, but it's true. It's true. When we're printing on a cherry block, you got more flexibility because the block holds moisture, it doesn't dry out so fast. But the boxwood blocks, the moisture doesn't sink into them, so it's only the tiny surface layer. 次の方に水があんまり中に入らないでしょ? だから正面だけです。だからすぐ触らないとすぐ乾かすでしょ? そう。She's pulled out another print here. 今出来上がりですか? It's finished. Okay, ちょっとそのまま持ってきて、ちょっと今 zoom in. This is Ebisu and Daikoku. It's a surimono by Hokkei でしょ? So this is Hokkei. And it's a print I made many years ago, maybe 2001, 2002, I don't remember, somewhere back there. And she's now made a version of it. And the black lines, the key block, oops, Sonomama Suga-san. Okay, you sit still, I'll move. If we both move, it's difficult. Yes, Sonomama. The background has all lucky symbols, bag full of money, the invisibility cloak, cloves, different things. We'll talk about those when we put the print online. And this is Daikoku with his magic hammer. And Ebisu with his bream, sea bream, his tie. And of course, they're symbols of good fortune and things like that. And she's done a beautiful, beautiful job. Suki-san, そのままですが、ちょっと明かりを、そう、そう。And there's metal pigments here, you know. If we find the right angle, they will shine. 見えないですね。It's okay. It's okay. はいはいはい。何枚作りました？
もうでも半分ぐらいしかできてないから。40。
She's got 60, 70, 80 in there. They come through. あゆみさん、おはよう。おはようございます。何ですか？Camera? What's going on?
ガシャーンと。
地震。
すいません。ごめん。
This is Ayumi-san. Good morning. The elephant enters the room. What did you do? She dropped her water bottle, I think. Okay, we don't need to watch her get changed or anything. Over here, it's Ishikawa-san, and she's doing, I don't even know what she's doing, something. Tell you what, I'll go farther in with the camera. We'll come back and look at it. One sec.
暑いに暑い。外に暑い。多分お昼頃になるとまた暑い。あれですよね。上がやっぱね。
Oh, that's as far as the camera's going to go. That's as far as the camera's going to go. Let's try. All right, sorry for the earthquakes today, everybody. This is Ishikawa-san's bench, of course. And she's doing, it's supposed to be top secret, I guess. She's doing the KJ, which one is this? 3, 4? 3. This is KJ number 3. We have a sample here. This is the sample print she's made over the past few days. And it's all been looked at and tested and trialed. She made a bunch of different samples. The heavy lettering you see there says Mihon sample. And now she's going to make her batch. 72枚ぐらい?
そうですね。
She's got 72 sheets in there. Always starting with the key block. The famous spoon. Quite some stuff here, you know, the pigments on her right-hand side. The paper, of course, is under the stack, under the light there. The in stack is in front of her, the out stack is to her left. We can also see, actually, too, right next to her is our Baron box. It's an aluminum case full of Barons. There's already a bunch taken out. She's using a couple of these. I should talk about this or not, it doesn't matter, I guess, whatever. The Baron box there, it's an aluminum, like fishing case, whatever. Actually, it's bolted to the floor. You can laugh, whatever. It's bolted to the floor. And at night, it gets closed and locked. そう。で夜閉めて、鍵閉めて。
鍵なんてどこ？
And Ami-san, of course, she's just opening her paper. It's been in the freezer all night. I brought it out about 6 o'clock this morning. So it's now well defrosted. Oh, look what she's doing today. That's right. That's right. Let's zoom in. そのまま、Ami-san、ちょっと見せていい？はいはいはい。Hold up one. ちょっとこの、はい。Okay, look at this. Okay, this is the previous test でしょ？いや、これからもっと、もう一回。So this was the previous test Aimi-san did with Taran-san, and the print looks okay, but it doesn't have enough depth and richness. And what we now have to try and figure out, we meaning Ayumi-san and Taran-san and myself, what we now have to figure out is now that we've got the thing sort of in place, every color from the original is there, every gradation on the original is there, but what we're missing still is a depth that's not there. And we're now going to struggle with how to figure out how to do this. It might need a couple more blocks on top. It might need some of the same blocks used with a bit of a different printing technique on top to add some depth to the color. We don't know. It's very much a learning process for us. 綺麗ですね。ですが、まだなんとか。
なんか手前がもっと暗い方がいいよね。こ
She's
ことここと。
Okay, she's thinking to add depth to it. The back distant part is very light, so she's thinking add more depth and darkness to the front parts, to the parts that are in front. We'll see how it goes. Coming soon to a woodblock shop near you. Okay, great fun learning, you know. And the learning process for all this stuff, you know, she has spent tons and tons of hours on this, as has Taran-san. None of this comes back to us because we can't sell the prints yet. So this is all being funded through our, what do you call it? The trainee premium, you know, the extra money that people are paying us to support this work. You know. Anyway, I guess I had better get out of here. One quick round. That's Ayumi-san. Suga-san is still going through her prints one by one to carefully check them before she hands them in down to me downstairs. And then Ishikawa-san, because she's doing a key block, we're not supposed to disturb her today. We can't sit and talk. We'll leave it with her. So thank you, ladies. 今まだライブですが、これから閉まります。So. Okay, we can pop this back up. There we are. Thank you very much, gang. A little view of that's better than showing a bunch of old show and tell prints for sure, I think. Whatever. Okay, thanks very much. Today's Thursday. As I mentioned before, Saturday will be another stream, and maybe I'm going to drop an email back to Mafalda-san if she's watching here, whatever. So Mafalda from overseas may be dropping in as a guest on Saturday morning. And I will probably just be tracing. I won't be carving yet. Thanks very much, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you. And thanks to Rode Wireless 2 for giving us, I think, much better audio than we've had in these streams up to now. Bye for now. See you in a couple of days. Good.